Hey, welcome back to Matter of Fact. And then there was 8. We got the divisional round here. We're just going to kick it off. We're going to have our picks kind of in between. There's only 4 games left. So we're going to dive into that, player props, but we're going to go in chronological order, starting off with Saturday. We got the Texans coming off their upset loss at home or upset win at home. They were dogs at home. Chiefs, it's 8.5, opened up at 7.5. Um, how do you feel about this game, man?
One, I want to give a shout out to Houston and CJ Stroud, uh, big game merchant. Going into that game, for some reason, it got to the point where it was like they didn't have a single chance. And then, they go out there, he performs well, outplays Justin Herbert, something that you're not allowed to say. And, he got his team to the second round. Defense was looking
You kind of
solid.
you. I don't know if it's just me, but you were kind of going in and out. What were you saying about Herbert?
I was saying
He
basically
outdueled him.
well, yeah, he outplayed him. CJ Stroud outplayed him, and you know, got his team to the second round. So gotta give a shout out to that. Everybody always want to shit on somebody when they do bad. We gotta show love when motherfuckers out here doing good. But as for this one, uh, I think it's just gonna be probably a little classic spot where the 8.5 probably covers, or I think was it now? It's plus, yeah, 8.5. The eight and a
Eight
half,
and a
they might
half.
cover the plus 8.5, but I don't know if this is going to be like a blowout. The Chiefs just don't do that. That's not how they play. I do expect them to win. One of my, I guess, the my biggest bet of the week is a teaser between them and also the Detroit Lions, and it's the Kansas City Chiefs minus 2.5, and also the Detroit Lions minus 2.5 for them to win at 120 at DraftKings. That's the best number right now. I just think that Kansas City, they're gonna. I think they just this is what they're prepared for. This is what they have been doing everything for these games to win playoff games. They don't care about the regular season. They don't care about style points. They don't care about narratives. They just care about W's, and that's why they have two Super Bowls and trying to work on getting number three.
Yeah, this is actually my lock. Plus 8.5, Houston. Um, like you said, the Chiefs typically don't cover this. Now, if they do, I also wouldn't be surprised because this feels like a classic. Yeah, nigga, this is we're the Chiefs. Remember that type spot where they come out here and they look just absolutely scary and outclass them. But I just don't see it. Like in all the important positions, all the skill positions. Well, not I guess I wouldn't say skill positions, but they have two great edge rushers over there in Houston, right? With Hunter, Will Anderson. They arguably have the best corner in the league. I remember that draft process. It was between Derek Stingley and Sauce. And Derek Stingley, he had some injuries earlier in his career, but he's
Well, he
been locked
started
up.
as a freshman. He started as a freshman on the national championship team for LSU.
Was that with Joe Burrow? No, not with
Yeah,
Burrow. With
yeah,
Burrow?
with Joe Burrow. Yeah, with Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Jay Jettis,
Damn,
all them boys.
that team was deadly. And Clyde, right? Clyde
Hmm.
Edwards.
Yeah,
Yeah, that team was deadly. I mean, talk about iron sharpens iron going into practice against JJ and Chase. Shit, no
yeah,
surprise Stingley pans out in the league, right? So,
right.
yeah, man. And then besides that, obviously Joe Mixon's been doing his thing. Wish that they had more receivers. That's why they brought on Stephon Diggs, just in case like a Tank Dell or a Nico went down. But there's no Tank. There's no Diggs, Dalton Schultz to keep this one close. He's definitely going to have to have a big game. He's actually one of my favorite player props of this game because they're going to have to get active with someone besides just Nico Collins.
See, I liked him earlier in the week, but now having to get over 5 catches is just that's just too many catches
Oh
for
yeah,
a
I'm
tight
not. I'm
end.
not targeting his receptions. I'm targeting his yards. I'm taking the yards. Yeah, I'm fading the receptions for sure. I feel that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's I don't know. It's definitely tough. It's an interesting number for sure. But I just trust D'Amico Ryans in this defense to keep this one close. So I like it at 8.5. What do you think the Texans would have to do to win this game, though? Like, what type of
Uh,
game plan do they need to stop these Chiefs? Because they haven't played in what, like 3 weeks. They took off the
yeah.
week against the Broncos. You give Andy Reid all that time, they're going to come with an amazing game plan. We know that.
Right. And I mean, again, this I don't want to say like, oh, they're gonna get lucky or nothing like that, but they're gonna need to muddy it up. They're gonna need to get some turnovers. If maybe Pat Mahomes a little rusty, he throws a bad ball, DB's got to catch it. You know what I mean? Whether it's Stingley, Lassiter, I think Brown is in the slot. Like whoever is playing on their team, if they have opportunities for turnovers, short fields, they have to capitalize. Special teams needs to probably help out, contribute. Huge. You're playing the reigning Super Bowl champs. You know what I mean? Like this, we're not in here
Trying to
playing the
three-peat
Chargers.
too.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this is the complete opposite of what the Chargers are. You know what I mean? In
And
this
keep
sense.
in
And I don't want to
mind,
disrespect
and I know
the
everyone's
Chargers.
shitting on Herbert, but we do have to remember they picked 5 last year. So it was an amazing
Well, it
turnaround
was
by
just
this
it was
team.
just a shift. It was just such an extreme shift, and again, it just goes back to everybody wants to root for Justin Herbert. Like not everybody, but that backing that he has and the arm talent and all that, and it's true. All of those things are true, but he's just Justin Herbert and Dak Prescott are in the same tier. CJ Stroud's in that same tier too, where like they're good quarterbacks. They need help though. They need help, and Justin Herbert he needed more than Lad McConkey. You know what I mean? Like he did his thing, but I
What do
mean,
you have,
damn, can I
like
get somebody else?
190?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's
190 and
like
like 8 catches?
but I mean, he did have an egregious pick six. And but outside of that, it was just like, yeah, they were just a little bit outmanned, and they didn't capitalize on the opportunities. If in this game, if Houston is able to get some three and outs on Kansas City and early in the first quarter, in the first half, they have to capitalize. And I'm not talking about no field goal. We need 7. We need 7 every time. Like, you know what I mean? It needs to be 14-0 at the end of that, you know what I mean? Going into the second quarter or something like that. If Houston wants a chance at winning this game, if this is one of those things where, Kansas City's kind of dictating pace and they're, just filling it out until the rust is worn off. Yeah, I don't know. I think they get smashed out in the second half. If Kansas City comes out game busters, I just don't know. I don't know how the script being where CJ Stroud is just forced to throw it a lot. I don't know how that could be in the Texans' favor due to the fact that they don't have, you know, the pass catchers. They're essentially depleted. They have one wide receiver right now. Their wide receiver core is basically Nico Collins. Hutchinson might do a little bit. Michi might have some nice little grabs for 7 yards here and there, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to take shots. I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, what
Yeah.
else do you? It's like kind of like what happened with the Chargers last week. They just didn't have enough. They just didn't have enough. And I think that this could be a game where it just goes to show on offense that Houston just doesn't have enough. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Somebody has to step up in that wide receiver room. Mechie was a relatively high draft pick for him, and
Right. Cancer survivor.
that's great. But are we gonna
Gotta shut
give
up.
him? I, make it help on the field. Use that motivation. I survived cancer and catch some balls out there.
I mean, that's pretty special to survive cancer and to be a professional athlete.
I guess, bro. Niggas rich. Access to great medical. But yeah, I think another aspect of this game, if the Texans want to win, they're gonna have to create some turnovers. They're gonna have
Right.
to try to create turnovers, one, and then two, capitalize on those, like you said, with a touchdown, not just 3. Pat Mahomes, clutches quarterback. Travis Kelsey always steps up in these spots. Pacheco, plenty of time to get back. You have Hollywood, you have D Hop, you have Worthy, which is, a complete flip from what we saw from their core earlier this year when they lost Rice. There was no Hollywood. Xavier Worthy had that great week 1 and then kind of fell off. And then this is before D Hop got there. Pacheco goes down, Kareem Hunt gets in. And right after that, we saw a game where they utilized like 4 tight ends. So like it's almost like it doesn't matter. And this is why they're 15-2. And that one loss came in the last game where they didn't play anybody, and their only other loss against the Bills. And we know what's good with the Bills.
Right.
So
And now they actually have the firepower to go against the Bills. I wouldn't be surprised if, Marquise Brown. I think the way that this game's going to go, especially like at the beginning when they're trying to get out to the early lead, I think you're going to see a lot of manufactured touches to Marquise Brown and Xavier Worthy. I think I wouldn't be surprised if this is the game where Travis Kelce probably maybe still gets in the end zone or whatever, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is a Xavier Worthy game where he has about 6-7 receptions, Marquise Brown having anywhere between 4 or 5 receptions, and they just kind of using them because one can be in the slot, one can be on a left outside flanker, and you don't know what they're going to do. If they're going to do play action, if they're going to do motion, if they're going to do jet sweep, and they look the same on the field. They both got the same kind of speed, and I just think that with the 3 weeks of practice and us not seeing them since basically Christmas, they're going to have packages and they're going to scheme up touches to the fastest players on their team. And then I think, the security blanket, it used to just be Travis Kelce, but you got Travis Kelce, which is probably going to still get anywhere between 3 to 5 receptions, but you also got a little bit of D-Hop too, who should be healthy.
and
So
don't sleep on Noah Gray too. I feel like he's going to find a way to get like 3 catches, 40, 50 yards somehow. Like he's Pat Mahomes is one of these players that he could feed everybody. You have 7 people have a
right. And
relatively productive game for at least compared to their odds, Vegas wise. But any other player props you like in this one? By the way, also make sure you pay attention to the weather. A lot of outdoor games this weekend. I think the only dome game is the Detroit Lions. It's looking clear in terms of like precipitation, but 13 mile per hour winds.
Philadelphia, it might be nasty in Philly.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll get to them. But yeah, weather doesn't seem to be a huge problem in this Chiefs matchup, but keep an eye for that. And I also want to give a shout out to some of the rookies on the Texans making impact plays on defense. Kamari Lassiter has been a great CB2, and then you have what's his name, Kalen Bullock there as a safety, and Petrie's questionable, so hopefully he plays. They're going to need as much as they can to contain this Chiefs team. According to PFF, the Texans are 4th overall in defense, and the Chiefs are 2nd. So this is going to be I think this is really going to come down to coaching. It's going to come down to some of these close spots and some of the decision making on like a 4th down or after a turnover. What do you do with it?
If it's coming to coaching, then Chiefs win.
Well, that explains the spread, don't it?
Right. But I mean, right now, unfortunately, just due to the fact, DeAndre Hopkins was my bet. It was originally at 28, 28 and a half, but out of nowhere, it got boosted up to about 35. The only issue kind of what happens when you're betting this late into the week when there's only 4 games, the books are going to be sharp on everything. So it's not necessarily any angles here. You're just going to have to, if you're betting at this point, you just leaving it up to God, honestly. That was what I liked a lot when it was at 28 and a half. 34, 35, I'm still a little iffy on it. And then, I mean, I guess the one I like the most still is Noah Gray. I actually got this at 11 and a half, and it's at 10 and a half now. So I guess that would be my best bet. But I mean, outside of that, I don't really have The only thing that I would probably suggest would be maybe Nico Collins receptions, like 6 or 7 receptions, and then again or Marquise Brown or Xavier Worthy, their receptions, because I do think that they're going to manufacture some touches for these
touches.
guys. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just
this isn't my favorite game when it comes to the player props, simply
see.
because
I
what
think he can hit this. I think he can get to 3.5 or 4.
4 it is minus 135, and then the under is actually plus money, so tells you what they're kind of
See,
leaning with that.
like everything is going to be juice. You know what I mean? Because it's like they want to steer you away from just not playing. So it's not going to be 110, 114 what it would usually be. It's going to be a situation where, um, if it's a good number, something that he could possibly hit, it's going to be juice. You're not going to see nothing lower than 125, 120. Everything's going to be 130, 135, 140. If it's something that has a likely chance of hitting, or if the books feel like it has a likely chance of hitting.
Juju's at 6.5. You taking a stab at that? He gets like a catch or two, 12 yards.
Um, I mean, if you want, you know what I'm saying. That's not something that I would suggest. But if you feel like he's gonna get the targets, then why not? I just think with a fully healthy wide receiver core, I don't know how many touches how many looks he's really gonna get. But again, I mean, he only needs one. So if that's what you feel like doing, you go for it.
You know who's also kind of sneaky, who I feel like always gets some burn and like just randomly in games like this? P. Ryan. P. Ryan, 10.5 receiving yards. Maybe on a screen, maybe on a like a 3rd and 15, and they just want to try to get some yak from them and set up a field goal or hopefully get a first down from them. I
I
know
mean, yeah,
Kareem
again,
Hunt's playing and whatnot, but I mean
yeah,
that's
because it's
P. Ron's role.
yeah, because my whole thing. I mean, I don't know what that. I guess that when it comes to the running back, my whole thing is I don't know how healthy Isaiah Pacheco is. That we haven't seen him in 3 weeks. So in my mind, I would like to think, oh, okay, he's probably ready. He's probably ready to carry the load. But also, it's like Buddy broke his leg. So I'm personally just staying away from the running backs in this game altogether. But again, right, it's all about how you feel about the backfield and that rotation.
Okay. Yeah, but once again, this is my lock. I think the Texans cover this one. Respect to their defense. I think it's going to be a defensive game overall. So we'll see what Spags cooks up. Obviously, the Chiefs have the better O line as well, and then on the other side, they got to hope they could contain Chris Jones. So
Yeah, yeah, and that offensive line for Houston is struggling right now just due to the injuries that they had to deal with throughout the season. But hey, you're here now. Got to work with it.
how do you feel about the over under? I think it's like at 41, 42 and a half.
I mean, probably go. I would probably maybe go under. If it's a defensive matchup, if you feel like it's going to be a defensive matchup, how's it going to be high scoring?
Yeah, it's just such a low number. I just don't think there's a lot of value for it.
Yeah,
Probably
I
going
mean,
to,
everything will be sharp. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
this is they know it's been adjusting lines, been adjusting throughout the week, so they know everything's going to be on the money. Like whether it goes over or under, it's probably not going to be by no more than half point, 4 point.
Yeah, like a point or two.
Yeah,
And it's going to be flip of the coin. But yeah, we can move on to Saturday night. Um, Lions Commanders. Like I said, we got Jared Goff in the dome. Man, that Week 18 matchup between the Lions and the Vikings. And I said this after that game. I was like, yeah, I feel like the Vikings are kind of done because shit, all you gotta do is kind of follow the blueprint that the Lions did. That's kind of what the Rams did. You got the pressure on Sam Darnold last week by the Rams, got sacked like 30 times. Looks like he was seeing ghosts crazy. And shout out to Aaron Glenn, which is why both of these coordinators probably won't be head coaches next year. But yeah, we got the Lions at 9.5. You taking this? You think it's a classic line smash spot because you know if they're up, they're not going to take the foot off the gas.
So for me, again, I have the teaser. So I teased them down to 2.5, just in case it's some randomly close game or whatever. But uh, I would go right here. My look is kind of the under with the points. I just think 55 points is
It's a
it's a lot of
lot of
points.
points,
And the
but it is in
last
the dome.
time, yeah, but I mean, the last time I was excited for a shootout like this was the Detroit Minnesota game, and that had playoff implications at the time.
Implications.
And I just think when you're dealing with all that, and also when I've seen Aaron Glenn obviously over these past probably 6 or 7 weeks since they've been depleted by injuries. I've seen him adjust week to week on the scheme and regards to the scheme. And just like you just said, Sam Darnold had film out there that showed some of his flaws, some weaknesses, and it was used against them. And I think that Aaron Glenn goes into his bag, goes into the film room, studies a little bit. Again, I'm not trying to talk about Dallas, but if you do whatever Dallas did, whatever Dallas be doing, he played so bad in that first half against Dallas that they were like, all right, yo, just sit. Like we don't need you getting fucked up because we was on his head so crazy. And I mean, granted, they don't have a pass rusher like Micah Parsons, but if you're playing man to man and you're doubling Terry McLaurin or
Shout
you
out to
pressing
Hutch.
Terry, and you gotta you maybe send some linebackers on some blitzes or you do something like that where you can send some pressure to Jaden Daniels, maybe that affects his play and he's not as electric or he doesn't have enough time in the pocket to look for Terry McLaurin, who is his go-to guy. Yeah, Zach. Not Zach, is it Zach Ertz? What's his name? Is his name Zach Ertz?
The
Zach
tight
Ertz.
end. Yeah,
Yeah, the
Zach
tight
Ertz.
end. Yeah, Zach Ertz and also De'Ami Brown. They'll get their touches here and there, and hopefully they'll show up for him so this could be a good game. But I just don't think that they'd be enough, to win to beat Detroit, respectfully.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a catastrophic loss if the Washington figured out a way to win this one. I mean, if you're the Lions, it's damn near Super Bowl or bust, which is you feel like that if you're a playoff team. But Washington's here playing with house money. They're 12-5.
Mhm.
They kind of feel like a 9-10 win team. But hey, if you're winning those games, you're winning those games, right? And they did it again
Yeah.
last week, where they like, for one, shout out to Jaden Daniels. He's like this year's CJ Stroud. You could tell. You know what was the biggest like tell to me? Like, all right, this kid is solidified. It was towards the end of the game, the Bucks Commanders game, and I think he was like John with the defense towards the end of the fourth quarter, and he was like cheesing and he was just laughing. And I was like, yo, this kid is just the lights aren't too bright for him. You know what I mean? Like his poise, his decision making, doesn't make a bunch of mistakes, and he's hard to get after unless you have like somebody could hawk him down like a Micah Parsons. Now in this game, it it's kind of it feels like the last one. It's like Washington. I just don't think they have enough. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just don't think they have enough.
And
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 then
I mean, again, there was some goofy like Buccaneers lost that game. I mean, no. Washington did their thing and they won again. Like another, there was like this sixth game that they won at the end of the last play of the game. But I mean, you turn the ball over, you don't go for it on fourth down, you depend on your defense. They just did a lot of things where it's like, okay, this is not playoff football. I'm sorry, you
yeah,
know what I mean?
there's a lot of the coaching decisions, and you're going against two like this coaching staff for the Lions, easily top two, top three, with Dan Campbell being kind of like the culture setter, and obviously the Lions were a joke until he came around and turned this franchise around. So it's just like a different animal with the Lions going from the Bucks to playing the Lions. I Jaden Daniels is going to have to put the team on his back. That's pretty much it. And Terry's going to have like a good 150 yards, I feel like, to make this competitive. Last week I really liked the Brian Robinson under, but now it's at like 30, like 5.5. So that just tells you the books are like, look, the lines might go up early. They're not going to have time to run. I like Austin Eckler's receiving yards here because of that. I think Terry McLaurin, he's going to find a way to get busy per usual. But besides that, I think there's a lot of value with some of the pass catchers in Detroit, like a Tim Patrick. I think this is a big J-Mo game, and the Commanders aren't very good at stopping tight ends. So, this is like Sam Laporta had such a crazy rookie year that this feels like a down year for him, but he's still a talented player. So I think there's value with taking either his receptions or his yards. I think I'm leaning his receptions though at 4.5. How do you feel about that?
See, I'm going with his yards. And the reason why I'm going with his yards is it's one of those situations where the way that Ben Johnson calls plays and schemes up some of these players open, Sam Laporta, like you said, they have bad tight end defense. He could easily get 70 yards off of 3 touches. You know what I mean? Because they had some crazy misdirection, play action. Sam Laporta leaks down the sideline, no one follows him, and he's just wide open. And he, you know what I mean? He gets a huge chunk of 50 yards with 1 catch. This is one of the games where, like, I would take, like, for Sam Laporta, I would take his yards up to 70. Like, I don't think that they're going to have an answer for Sam Laporta based off of his talent alone, and also that they're not efficient at guarding the tight end. So those things together, I don't see how he doesn't go off. A weird thing about they're so bad at guarding tight ends. The second tight end on the team, the opposing offense, scores touchdowns against them. Like Luke Schoonmaker scored a touchdown against the Washington Redskins, and I don't know how many times I've seen him score a touchdown in the NFL. So like even like a Brock Wright anytime touchdown, like you actually are getting value on that. I'm not saying bet the house on it or anything like that.
Or if DraftKings got like a lineman play, little penny school, anytime touchdown.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, these cats are they make big plays. They're kind of methodical when they need to be, but if your defense is trash, they'll run something to smoke you. Like even Jameson, I would understand someone probably doing the over on his yards, but at the same time, I don't think that it's going to take him 5 catches to get to his over. I think it might only take 3 catches, 4 catches. I mean, 4 catches is a catch a quarter. That's kind of a lot, that's relatively speaking. But like, yeah, I think he could do it in 3.
Right.
I think Amron, and it's funny because his prop, they got him going under. It's crazy. His prop's at 80, but like he don't fuck with De'Ami Brown because he got drafted before him. We don't fuck with the Redskins, so he always kind of kills the Redskins. But yeah, I just don't think. I mean, I don't know how much you're going to need to throw the ball after your rub.
That's the thing. It's not like they're the Chiefs and they're going to play the clock and run it down. And we've seen from Ben Johnson, he's not afraid to show a little bit of his creative shit, even if the game is, fully bagged. So right. I think they unload a lot on these boys. They're like, yo, we're going to run through this. We're not sitting anybody, kind of the opposite of the Rams mantra, because this isn't the first time that the Rams are like, look, we don't care who we play. We locked in the playoff spot. Let's get ready for the playoffs. Seems like it worked out for them, obviously. But another thing about these two teams, which is why the over still might be a decent play, is their top 2 in like 4th down like conversions.
Right.
Both these teams, and we saw that in the Bucks game where it almost felt like, they keep going for it on 4th. instead of kicking these easy field goals, that might be the death of them. And they completed 50% of those fourth downs, and getting those touchdowns. Instead, that's the type of mindset Dan Quinn's going to have, and clearly based off, I think it was like a playoff game he had for y'all, or was it y'all, where he kept settling for field goals.
Well, nah. Well, he was that had to be in Atlanta, because he was our defense.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was Atlanta, but yeah. So that's the right mindset. But do you have the skill players to really take advantage of a team that also does that all the time? You know what I mean?
See, and I think that's the difference in this game compared to the Bucks. The Bucks are over here being scary on fourth down, and they weren't. They were playing to win. You gotta respect that. Dan Quinn, I respect him for, hey, we got to play to win. We playing to win. And, it was two defensive-minded head coaches, and the one that was more risky was the one that ended up with the W, And granted, there might have been some unfortunate situations with the fumble and all of that, but still. And I just think that, like, again, Aaron Glenn, he watching film. He watched that game. He knows he's going to have his team prepared for fourth down. Yo, hey, by the way, don't get hyped when it's 4th and 4. Don't get hyped when you see 4th and 3. No, none of this when it's 4th and 3. Everybody back to the line. Everybody back to the line. You know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to have that mindset if we playing in this type of game. And Detroit, Dan Campbell, it seems like that's how they carry themselves. Like, all right, bet we're not tripping on 4th and 3. A lot of teams naturally, I don't even notice if you notice it when your team's playing. It's like, all right, bet, 4th and 3. All right, we got them all. Wait, oh shit, oh, they're going for it. What? And you know what I mean? It's like you can't have that feeling. You can't have that feeling tomorrow. It got to be, hey, 4th and 3. Where you going, bro? Come on, let's go. We got to go again. We got to get a stop here. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be ready, and they got to be ready for everything. Ready for Jaden Daniels running. Ready for Terry McLaurin on the slants. Like, they got to just be prepared. So, and I think they're the team that's able to do that. I think they're not going to be surprised on fourth down.
Yeah, and if this game goes how we all expect it to go, potential shootout, could be a shootout, and it still doesn't hit that 55.5, to be honest. Such a high number. But that makes me, huh?
It's a half point too high.
Yeah. And I mean, typically, like, you expect the lines to go over, but every time it hits that 50 mark for the over-under, it just doesn't even come close. Like, if you've noticed throughout this season. So, but I do feel like this is a spot, given how much both of these teams go for on fourth down successfully too. That's going to be the difference between whether this over-under hits is, those fourth downs, are they completing them and are those turning into touchdowns, or is it a long field for the opposing offense that's getting on, and then they have to work it down to the red zone, and there's no points there because every point's going to matter for this over.
And that's what I'm saying. That would be beneficial for the
Under.
yards. You know what I mean? All the yards, everybody player yards. That type of game script would be beneficial for the player yards. I mean, I did on DraftKings. They have like some promotions called like something like King of the Gridiron or something like that. But basically, like, a player has to, if your player scores a touchdown, you get like bonus bets, $2 million in bonus bets back. The three players that I picked to score were David Montgomery, Terry McLaurin, and Amon St. Brown. I think either he gets yards or he gets in the end zone. And they're trying to imply that he's not probably going to hit his yards. So I do think this is a game where he's wide open over the middle.
How healthy do you think David Montgomery is? It's crazy that he's back already. I know they said he'd be back for the playoffs, but I was thinking maybe the NFC Championship. But damn, the division game, he back?
I don't know, but again, it's also we don't know how he's going to get used. What I'm assuming is if he's healthy, or if they're going to use him, they're using him at the goal line. I don't think that, you know what I mean, they're going to be out here giving them crazy touches or anything like that. But I think it's like, all right, for morale purposes, it's just like how Buddy said. Wouldn't it be awesome if Zeke just ran in, he scored his touchdown, and jumped into the bowl? You know what I mean? It's just like it's just a morale booster for some fans. They like that. Like, and David Montgomery, like he's a fan favorite, you know. So I could see Detroit getting to the goal line, especially in the first quarter, and giving David Montgomery the touch to have him walk in, set the tone off rip. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe a couple carries and goal line touches just to get him back in the game speed, get him nice and ready. Assuming that they win this and then they're gonna have to go play either the Rams or the Eagles. So besides that, the Lions aren't the best against running quarterbacks. So I do like Jaden Daniels rushing yards here. And if he's going to have to play Superman, it's not going to be just through the air. It's going to be, on feet.
See, but that's my thing though, because even like 44 to me is a lot of yards. Like 44 is a lot. And that Jones juiced all the way up to 55 yards. Like he about to play running back. He play, like, he about to be running back.
He got to play Clark Kent.
So it's
That's where you have to play.
Like,
so
it's just like that can get and that's what I mean. Like the books got it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not betting nothing too crazy this weekend because it's like the closer we get to the less games we have, the sharper the lines are going to be. And I mean, there was probably a time where this was a reasonable line. Like, I don't know, I want to say maybe like 3 days ago, that was probably reasonable. It was probably at like 47, 48, 50 even. But because we don't got nothing else to bet on but these 4 games, that Jones shot all the way up to 55. And I just like for me, again, I'm real cautious with my betting. I don't want to just smack on anything because I think it's like I like it or it'll be fun. But like I gotta respect coin and I gotta respect the books, man. Like they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're making the props, either they're making them crazy or they're juicing. They're juicing the number.
yeah, but besides Jaden Daniels rushing yards, anything else from them? Nah. I like Jared Goff to throw at least 3 touchdowns. So his touchdown totals at 2.5. I would take the over on that.
Yeah, I mean the most thing that I would, yeah, maybe if you want to do Zach Ertz 2 receptions, something like that. If it's still like you know what I mean, where it's at. It doesn't look like people smacking on Austin Eckler's rushing yards. I think that opened up at like 20. It's only at 22 and a half. So there's there's a little bit of value there, but just be cautious this weekend.
Let me go back to wild card. Let me see. I just want to get the stats on who really got active for Washington like that. Um, yeah, so it was a Miami Brown game. Because of that, they don't have like a solidified wide receiver too. I feel like this might be a Zacchaeus game.
Right.
So it's
Whoever
just
shows
kind
up.
of it's just kind of a dart throw. It's kind of just some probability shit. If it's Brown last week, it's not like we trust him to be a weekly impact player. So it might be a Zacchaeus week, and they're gonna have to be throwing it a lot. So I would just try to fill in where you could get in with some of these pass catchers. Look at where you could get value because assuming how the game flow, how everyone kind of expects it to go, Washington having to climb back, somebody's going to have to catch it besides Terry McLaurin because obviously the defense is going to be cluing in on him. They're going to be basically it's going to be like anybody but Terry beat us. And so
Yeah.
who gets active after that?
Right. For real.
Who
All
knows?
right.
The world doesn't know. But in terms of the spread, what are you taking, or what are you thinking if you had to bet it?
I mean, I don't have to bet it. I got the teaser. I did the teaser.
Bro, I don't want to hear that, bro.
I
If you had to bet it, gun to your head, 9.5. Which one are you taking?
It's at 9.5. It's not at 8.5 no more. I don't know, man. I probably have to do plus. I probably just go with the number. I probably just do plus 9.5.
I think I'd take Detroit 9.5 here, and nobody would care. They're playing with house money. It's like, all right, yeah, good game. You tried. It's the Lions, though. All right, let's
Right.
move on, and we'll forget about it. Just be happy I won a playoff game first year, kind of like C.J. Stroud did in the AFC. But yeah, I'm probably not touching that number either. Like that teaser though. I might tell you on that. Two and a
Nah,
half,
yeah,
two and a half Saturday.
I would do it. I would do it immediately because I know for only on DraftKings it's 120. On other sites it's already at like 140, 160, crazy juice. You know what I'm saying? But like again, I think that Detroit is going to win the game, but like you said, these cats they're scrappy and that them going forward and keeping it close. You don't want a backdoor cover or something stupid, just because it's a two point two score spread. You know what I mean, at 9.5. So sometimes you just gotta play the numbers with it.
Facts. All right, we get into competitive Saturday, competitive Sunday. The closer spreads, less than touchdown spreads, all on Sunday. Saturday we got 8.5s and 9.5s. Eagles at the link -6. You surprised by the line? How you feeling about the Eagles? Think the Rams could, you know, try to get their get back on the Lions? Get past the
I'm
Eagles?
not. Yeah, nah. I'm Philly all day here. -6. Give me that -6. Smacking it. Outdoors, nasty weather, old ass Matt Stafford's arm don't work in those type of conditions. And also, Philadelphia, the defense, they ain't even got to travel. They ain't even got to travel. Defense ain't even got to travel. Defense just they're gonna be in the crib. So that's gonna do the heavy lifting. If AJ Brown, he did look a little bit like he doesn't look healthy. He doesn't look like AJ Brown, like the dog AJ Brown. I can something in his lower body is affecting his play right now, and he's not saying it,
Well, do
but
you think he knows that? Because the way he's acting is like, yo, I'm in the best shape of my life and I'm not
nah,
getting the
no.
ball.
See, that's what I was about to get to. Though he's not saying it, but I can tell by the way he's lashing out. It makes me feel like he really want to be like, bro, y'all don't even know I got such and such y'all motherfuckers don't even know it. I'm out here trying to work through this shit. But he's not, so that's why he's lashing out and he's doing all this other, I don't even want to call it antics. Motherfucker was reading the Bible and a good ass Bible verse on the sideline. He wasn't tripping. So it's like, yo, he met
Why
like
are you calling it a Bible?
it
It was a
wasn't that what
motivational. No, it was like some
oh
motor. The Amazon sales or whatever got like a big 200% boost after that too. By the way,
right.
yeah, some type of
Yeah.
self help book.
Right. So it's like
Keep his
I can
nerves down.
and for a motherfucker like me that was spazzed out too, like, bro, I respect that. Like, I respect that. But that's the thing and that's why he's like, bro, y'all mad at me if I'm y'all make it a story if I bug out on the sideline. Y'all making it a story when I'm cool and just reading my book on the sideline and we smacking these motherfuckers.
Come
What
on,
like
bro. Come
like
on,
what
bro.
y'all want?
Bro. He has to know there's going to be some talk about that. He inviting that talk, bro.
Well, he
He
doing
reading
what
books.
he and look, I respect it. I respect it. That's what helping him keep
I
calm
don't
on the
mind it. I
sideline.
don't mind it. I mean,
Like,
clearly,
hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey.
what's weird about the Eagles is they do a lot of things, and a lot of things happens in that building, that locker room, that for other teams, that it's like this is what dysfunctional franchises do or how they look, but it works for them. Might be the
Because
city.
their talent is it's impeccable.
It supersedes it. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things where winning don't even really be solving their problems because they'll spaz on the day when they win. But it's just like they're so talented. All right, whatever. You know what I mean? We got to play next week. So yeah, I know Jalen Hurts isn't really playing that well right now. He looked a little rusty, but again, they got a solid
as
off.
expected.
Yeah, like you got a solid offensive line, and again, this is at home, outside, outdoors, possible chance of nasty ass weather. I really don't think Los Angeles has a serious shot. I mean, they got a shot because they're in the playoffs and they could scheme something up and maybe generate some turnovers. And if they're able to stop Saquon, but the only way I think that the Eagles don't win this by more than a touchdown if Kellen Moore shows off his ass and just does some nut shit. That's the only way. Future Dallas Cowboy head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Kellen Moore, by the way.
Nah, your boy from Colorado, man. Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, but you not hearing respectfully, you're not hearing the correct stuff. But
hey, I give the Cowboy, you pretty much a fucking beat reporter yourself, so you got it. Now for this game, I mean, the only way I see the Rams winning this, and I'm not saying this is like Commanders Lions, where it's like, yo, this is such a long shot. I think this is, given we only have 4 games, this is one of the games where the dog could win. But like you said, Matt Stafford in these conditions, I'm not saying he's Jared Goff in bad conditions, but he's not the Matt Stafford that we saw last week in these conditions. And that's the big.
This is where home and away games in the playoffs matter. This is
coming from Southern California too. Yeah, definitely doesn't help anything. I'd also like, shout out to Jared Verse. I mean, you lose Aaron Donald and you get Brandon Fisk, you get Jared Verse. It's like, damn, these niggas really re-up. But once again, we keep saying this, it's about building through the draft. If you could draft, you'll always be all right. And this Rams team,
they don't even draft. They don't even give a fuck about picks.
Exactly.
They're like, all right, well, we finally got a first round pick. We'll take this All-Pro, future All-Pro.
Well, and the defense fell because he wasn't even supposed to be there. But this is a Rams team that they mortgaged all their picks for a Super Bowl, get some picks back, and then you're able to generate all that pressure. It's crazy. But now you have arguably the best O-line in the league. Are they going to be able to have that impact and to win this?
That's the thing. That's the issue. This is where
that's the X factor.
Yeah, this is where it's like, all right, that was cute what y'all was doing over there to Minnesota, and they depleted O-line. But this is real grown man work over here. Sit your ass down. Sit your ass down. Like I mean, you saw the clip last week. This man Jalen Hurts had like 5 seconds, 6 seconds in the pocket in a playoff game. Like, bro, they're about to bully the hell out of these.
It looked like when you play Madden, you put that joint on rookie. That's how much time this nigga had. Like, everybody just spaced out pocket, just force field, just a force field.
Like,
so
I mean, if AJ Brown is healthy, like, and I'll probably still maybe might do it, like a little 100-yard, 1 touchdown game just so he could get back right. That would be like AJ Brown was healthy sprinkle. But I mean, in this game, like maybe Devontae Smith might get off, but I just think that if Kellen Moore calls a decent game on offense, I don't see how they lose. I don't see how they lose.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of game plan, how I see the Rams, the only way for the Rams to win is if they could somehow stop Saquon. You stat the box on Saquon, it's going to be, Jalen Hurts, you got to beat us. And if Jalen Hurts could, step it up, kind of like how he did in his playoff run and in that season where he was an MVP candidate, if he could get back to form, obviously coming off that concussion, he was gone for 3 weeks, he was in protocol for a while, and the hit that he took didn't seem like it would be that serious of a concussion, but kind of expected him to look a little bit rusty. This is a game where, I feel like he's going to have to step it up because I feel like Sean McVay, I think he's going to have a little bag of tricks that he sprinkles on over here because he's going to need them to beat this Eagles team. Because here's the thing too, if Jordan Love wasn't doing Jordan Love type activities, that's a game the Packers could have won. So,
well, I mean, maybe if they had some healthy wide receivers, if they maybe had, if they literally were so depleted by the end of that game, they didn't even have the backups to the backups. Like,
the problem with the Packers, and I think it's going to be ironic, right? Because I feel like, unlike the time that the like 15 so years they had Aaron Rodgers, where they would never draft a skill position in the first round, which was a part of the reason why he was pissed. Because when you guys trade up and get a quarterback. Obviously, that's Jordan Love. Feel like they're going to have to get a receiver because this little the power of friendship receiving group that they have right now, like it's cute and whatnot, but y'all need a wide receiver one. Y'all need that guy, and it can't be Christian Watson because he's hurt every year.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it is what it is. It caught him at a good time. Unfortunately, last year Dallas caught him at a fucking bad time. You know what I mean? And we still
I
haven't
saw a
recovered
lot of
from it.
Cowboys fans
We still-
complaining from the first half, like, yo, why couldn't we get this version of the pack?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That boy was playing for a contract. If he didn't turn his season around, I mean, didn't he? At least when he signed, wasn't he the highest paid quarterback at that point in time?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy. These quarterback contracts, they're gonna have to dial this shit back. That boy Trevor Lawrence getting a major, Tua getting a major, and I like Tua now.
It's just the market.
It's only going to get higher.
It's only going to get higher. Next one going to be 65 million.
I mean, good luck building a winning roster in a place like Miami or Jacksonville, paying. I don't want to call them mid, but they're not. I don't know. That's a conversation for another time.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's roster building, and that didn't deplete the roster to the point where they're not going to be able to resign if they had good players.
I mean, but that's the reason why they couldn't keep Christian Wilkins. And now, granted, he did get hurt for the Raiders, but did he go to the Raiders? Did he go to the Raiders? Where did he go?
Yeah, he went to the Raiders.
He went to the Raiders, but
a very, very smart, wise man told me a secret a long time ago that still rings true. And it's that no team has lost a player that they wanted to keep due to salary cap reasons. And I haven't, the fans believe it. And that's the pick that the owners, when they need to use it, that they use. But if you really break it down, no team has ever lost a player that they wanted to keep due to salary cap reasons. They just.
I guess we'll see that with Cincinnati and T. Higgins this offseason, huh?
Do they want to keep him?
Of course they.
You know what I'm saying? Because Cincinnati.
If Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
But again, I'm talking about the owners. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about organization owners. I'm not talking about. That's what I'm saying.
The coaching and the players. Yeah, I got you.
Right, because the owner and the GM, their spill is, oh, we just simply didn't have enough piece of the pie. Fancy it up. God damn it, Chase, why you ain't take a pay cut? God damn it, bro, why you ain't take a pay cut? Nah, we can move the numbers around and get T. Higgins back here if we really needed that. You know what I mean? But again, that's a completely different rabbit hole though. For me to like break that down and get people to really, really understand how that works. Come on, man. We got ChatGPT and accountants with master degrees. You trying to tell me we can't make the numbers work?
Yeah, man. Push some of them contracts a little bit back, some of the guaranteed money, figure it out. But we'll get into some of that salary cap stuff in the off season here, a couple of weeks away from that. But back to this game. Yeah, man. I mean, Matt Stafford's going to have another vintage Matt Stafford game. We saw Jared Verse. Shout out to Jared Verse talking his shit, and he's from PA. I think he grew up a Steelers fan. But talking about how he hates the Eagles, their fans, annoying and shit. Well, you about to go over there and you about to get a lot more obscenities yelled at you that you were complaining about. So, but hey, I like the competitive spirit from the rookie. The rookie knows he's like that, so I like that coming from him. But I mean, this is let's see if you can make an impact here against this O-line, man. Because that's the way for them to win. You're going to have to stack the box on Saquon and disrupt the pass rush for the Eagles. It'd be great if they could go up early somehow, but overall, I think this is going to be a pretty defensive game. I like the under here.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there is a scenario where Kellen Moore panics. He forgets that he has Saquon Barkley. He tries to throw the ball 35 times with Jalen Hurts. Is a scenario that could possibly very well happen. And there's also a scenario where Saquon Barkley maybe doesn't have the best first quarter or whatever.
And they get away from the run.
And they get away from the run. It is a scenario that is with him as the offensive coordinator and play caller has happened before. So it would surprise me if it happened, but at the same time, I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked. And that's the only way they could lose them. It would be literally because Kellen Moore he did some Kellen Moore shit. And then I say, I told you so, but don't worry about it. It's not your problem no more. It's mine now. So let me just Bring my motherfucker over here. Give me my shit back. Come on.
Yeah, but once again, this is another game where I just think, the Eagles and the Lions, with the NFC, the content's kind of been the NFC's the conference with the stacked rosters and they're top. There's some top 10 quarterbacks in the NFC, but the AFC is really, you got the top tier quarterbacks, and then the roster doesn't really stack up from position group to position group compared to like the Eagles or the Lions.
See,
So it's an interesting little dynamic, little juxtaposition there.
I think there's 3 teams in the AFC that can beat all the teams in the NFC, and
they're all in the playoffs.
Yeah, like, and I don't feel like I don't know if I feel that way about Philly. Obviously, I think that they can beat this team, but I don't if they're playing like how they played last week, and even if they made the Super Bowl, yeah, smash spot, smash city for whatever that AFC team is. Detroit, I think they could maybe give somebody a run for it, but the only problem with them is they got a depleted defense. So it's like, at what point does that start to show up and be a chink in the armor? You know what I mean? There's only so much scheming you can do to where talent is just going to override all of that, and you know what I mean, takes over.
Yeah, I mean, I think like you said, it's depleted defense for the Lions, and then with the Eagles, it's, are we going to get elite quarterback play if it comes down to the wire, and we need that fourth quarter run from Jalen Hurts.
Right, like the offense is. I mean, yeah, Jalen Hurts at some point got to stop looking sloppy. You know what I mean? And if AJ Brown is actually hurt, I don't know.
Yeah, but
all right, the game of the year,
MVP game.
Well, the votes have already been submitted, but yeah.
This is the MVP narrative game, because if it goes to one and they lose this game, then you know what the talk's going to be.
ESPN is they have probably the biggest hard on, just like knowing that somebody's going to lose in this game, and they get to talk about this shit for 3 hours straight in the morning. Oh,
shit, 3 hours straight for the next like 6 months.
Oh man, this is, yeah. I mean, well, who you got? What's up?
So the weather here, chance of snow showers, 13 degrees. Shit, man. I was in Baltimore, sort of tailgating for that Ravens Steelers game. I couldn't wait to go back inside, bro. It is cold. That's why when it comes to, it's Buffalo, nigga, Baltimore is not a warm weather. Like these East Coast teams, like it's not all about, we're higher up and we're in New England and we're in Buffalo. Baltimore and
that wind is still sharp.
Yeah, it's still cold as shit over here. So
it's like Morgantown. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Right now, where we at right now, in the DMV, it's the same type of weather you getting in Morgantown, West Virginia. But we'll be done with it. Morgantown will still be cold as hell.
Yeah, up in the mountains. But I think matchup wise, and just given where it is and given the weather, I'm leaning Baltimore. But something just tells me, I think who I'm betting here is the Bills, just because of value. To me, this is a pick 'em. It could go either way, so I'm gonna just go where the plus money's at with that. And they're home. They're home dogs. Technically, it's only 1.5.
Shit.
Yeah, but still. Hey, like I said, I'm going where the value is. You give me a home dog in Buffalo, then that's kind of what I'm taking. But this is just kind of a game you low key want to sit back and enjoy and kind of chew at the player props. Injury wise, the Bills injury report is pretty small. Ray Davis is questionable, which he'd be helpful in this weather to try to pair with what James Cook can do, because obviously King Henry, this looks like a King Henry game. That's just slated up to be a Henry game. And, Derrick Henry, he helps open it up for some of those design run plays by Lamar. And I'm not sure. Even though I'm probably going to be betting the Bills, I think
Wait,
it's
when
going to
did
be a
Nate
tough
Wiggins
out.
get hurt?
Yeah, what? His neck. Let me looking at. That's pretty important. What the fuck are they talking about?
This
Injury
was 2
update.
months
We'll be
ago.
able.
The hell?
Yeah. What?
Okay, I was about to say.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't know.
Okay. I was about to say. Now the issue here, and by the way, for the last game, Tyler Higbee, low key an X factor. Like we don't look at him like a top 5 tight end or
Is he
anything. Like,
injured though?
no, he's healthy. He's healthy. He's playing.
Because you remember he covered I had his props last week and he covered them in the first quarter and then he got injured. He's out for the game.
Yeah, he was
Yeah, he was
getting
in the
busy.
hospital.
It's going to be pretty important for Tyler Higbee because he has no injury designation as of 2 hours ago. He's off the injury report. So that's going to be pretty important for this game, for that game, because Cooper Kupp, he's just not looking like prime Cooper Kupp no more. Looking like more of a block and receiver decoy type shit. So you're going to need something outside of Cooper Kupp and Demarcus Robinson and Tutu. Higbee should help out a lot for that game. So look out for that. You might want to take his props as well. But for this Bills Ravens are we getting Zay Flowers back?
It's not looking like it. He didn't practice on Thursday, which is like a very important practice day. If he does play, one he probably booted up. They probably gave him that.
Yeah, he's still
That
doubtful.
field,
So
but
oh
I
yeah,
don't
damn.
think
Today's
I don't even
Friday.
think
Yeah,
of,
that's tough.
yeah. So I don't think it doesn't look like he's going to pop the
Yeah,
perk 30 and get the word.
three straight did not practices. Yeah, I think that's important because that's where you could kind of exploit this Bills defense is that secondary. And can you rely on just Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews and likely where your boy Khalil Shakir, he gets busy. You have Amari Cooper, you have Keon Coleman, you have two solid tight ends with Kincaid and Knox. I mean, I think that's what it comes down to. You have the weather playing a major factor, which helps out the running game, which you have to give the edge to Baltimore. But when it comes to the pass catching options, in terms of just overall health, you got to give that to the Bills. But will they be able to take advantage of that in this weather? Now, Josh Allen, he has the arm to kind of pierce through wind and all that. So that's why having that strong arm quarterback matters. And this is why
When
they
he's
don't
accurate.
this is why they don't opt for a dome. And this is why when you're an East Coast team, that arm strength matters. You're not drafting Tua if you're a Buffalo.
Right. But you can't this ain't build a QB. You know what I mean? You gotta take what you get and work with the shit. So I feel you though.
Who are you leaning?
I mean, and again, this is a clear pick 'em here, so you kind of just are going off of vibes. I guess I'm going to go Baltimore here. Again, this is a pick 'em, so it's not like if Buffalo wins, I'm gonna be surprised. But I just think this is a situation where, in a way, Baltimore has kind of been preparing for this game mentally and also physically, and also scheme wise for a year. They've been waiting to get that bad taste out their mouth for the mistakes they were making in the last time they had a big playoff game, which was against the Chiefs. And that day, the Chiefs came in there, and it just went their way, and it didn't go Baltimore's way. And you could feel it. You could literally feel it. You could feel it through the TV how tense Lamar was, how tense the OC was, how tense Harbaugh was. You could feel how tense they were, how big that moment was for them. And this is a bigger moment because this is 8 o'clock on Sunday night, bro. So, but I think that now they're like, all right, like we know what we're going to do here. We're giving it to Derrick Henry. This is why we brought him in. You know what I mean? Lamar, use your feet. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about it off the stream or whatever. But I like the fact that he admitted, yeah, it was getting to me. That whole situation with me throwing the ball and not running, all that noise was getting to me. Well, he admitted it, and guess what? If you win this game using your feet, they can talk all the shit you want, but you passed the Buffalo Bills and you moving on to the next, you know what I mean, to the division, AFC division championship. So it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Win the game. And I think that if they can make this a muddy game and they can make it an ugly game, they got Derrick Henry and they got Lamar. And I think they'll use their legs a little bit. And I think that Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, and those big catches from Bateman, they need to be catches though. We can't have no drop passes. No drop passes on Sunday. If he drops a pass, if he drops two passes, if the ball pops out and he fumbles, that's ball game. I'm literally that's how they lost last year. We can't have none of that. And as long as he throw the ball and they catch it, I think they'll be okay. I don't think Rashad Bateman or the wide receiver core has to do anything spectacular. I just think that they have to be dependable. And I think that Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely takes care of the heavy lifting, and Lamar and Derrick Henry hold it down on third down. And if that's how it can go, I can see them pulling this one out. It won't be pretty. But my sneaky play for this game that I kind of like just because I like the odds on it, and I think he's the player that would be most likely to do this, is actually Josh Allen, 2 rushing touchdowns. Anytime touchdown, two anytime touchdowns.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Um, I'm looking back at Week 4 where the Ravens smashed them out 35-10.
I don't
Derrick
think it'll be
Henry
that.
had what?
I don't think it'll be that game though. Like you know what I'm saying. I think it'll be way
No,
closer.
I feel that, but I just like looking back to, well, why was it such a like blowout? Derrick Henry had 24 carries, 199. Lamar Jackson had 2 touchdowns, no passing touchdowns from Josh Allen. And obviously that's Week 4. This is way different. The Eagles and the Rams actually played, and the Eagles put it on them. But we obviously know the Rams were a different team early in the season compared to these past like 6 or so weeks. But
and now, do you remember that game? Do you kind of remember that?
What, the Rams Eagles game?
Nah, the Baltimore Buffalo game.
What about it?
So the I think it was like the reason it was such a smash mouth game was because like literally I'm not even joking. The first play, the first touch that Derrick Henry had, he rips it off for like 19
for 80. Yeah, I'm looking at it, 87 yards, and with the weather, kicking is going to be really important here. Like we don't harp on special teams too crazy. It's a little unpredictable, but Justin Tucker has been making his kicks and extra points as of recent. Obviously, it's a down Justin Tucker year compared to how we look at him, but it's important to keep in mind he has been more accurate kicking the ball, and it's going to come down to, it's a 1.5 spread for a reason. So a missed extra point, a missed 30, 35, 40-yard field goal might be the difference in this one. So then obviously you have Tyler Bass. So, I mean, both these teams, they know what's good, man. They know what's at stake here. They both want to get at Kansas City. And obviously I
my play though is the under in this game.
That's they had the under. But doesn't that kind of tell you, because the fact this is 4 points away from the Lions Commanders over under that's being played in the dome, it sounds like Vegas has a feeling like the weather is not going to impact the scoring. Doesn't that scare you a little bit?
I mean, no, because I think that just based on the way that both of these teams play, obviously, like you said, Josh Allen, not a lot of weapons. The thing with Baltimore is you can't run against them. It's actually a pass funnel defense, and so I think that's what they're implying, that they're going to be throwing the ball a lot through the air. But I think that's where it comes in. Josh Allen using his legs, they might stop James Cook, or James Cook might have a tough time, but then now you getting Josh Allen that got to be Superman. You know what I mean? And this is the game now, for better or for worse. Sometimes you get a little nutty sometimes, but I think they're going to keep the. I think the clock's going to be moving constantly. I don't think that they're going to be passing attempts, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of incompletions, and I don't think that there's going to be that many chunk plays to where oh, quick little like Derrick Henry 87-yard touchdown. That's easy. That's 5 seconds. You got 7 points on the board. You know what I mean? You got 2 rushing touchdowns from Lamar, and those was pretty easy too. That's 21 points. I don't think that we're going to have those easy gimme touchdowns in this one. Those big play touchdowns, I guess, in this game.
Fuck, man. Who knows, man? You know what I mean? Like,
and again, it could get close to the over on this one, but I just like in these spots. I mean, like this is where everybody gets tight. Everyone's just naturally conservative. I don't know if it's going to be loosey goosey hella fireworks. Like I mean, if it could happen, they have the talent for it. They're equipped to do it. Both these teams have game breaking running backs and quarterbacks that use their arm and their leg, and they got some solid pass catchers. So it could happen, but I just think that this is the books playing on our emotions, knowing what we really want to see, knowing what we know like these teams are capable of, and just like, oh yeah, 51.5, smack city, let's go. Like, you know what I mean? I think they're just trying to kind of play with us. I think it's a trap spot because they could have easily made that jump 47, 48, 49, and I think people hit the over, but they made it 51.5.
yeah, it's scary. It's scary. Like you said, this time of year with the limited amount of games, not only is it less games for you to bet on, but more people feel enticed to bet because football almost done and the stakes are so high. So
yeah, you sitting there chilling, you on the phone, you know what I mean? Like, betting is the worst thing that ever happened to me. It's gonna end up being, it's gonna go down as one of the worst things that ever happened to me. Because you be trying not to bet.
That's why we gotta make more money, man. More, you know what I mean? Increase that unit amount.
And call the hotline. If you feeling like it ain't working your way, call that hotline, man. You don't gotta bet on everything. You up at 3:00 in the morning betting on Chinese basketball. It's time to call.
Yeah, but I mean, besides that, I think this is going to have to be a major Mark Andrews game. So I'm kind of attacking his props. I think Zay Flowers not playing is going to be a major factor here. I think that it's tough that he's not playing, man.
So a sneaky prop. I'm glad we brought this up. Justice Hill.
Receiving?
Yeah, over. See, it was over. It was 20 yards. Everything. I mean, they're on everything. They're so sharp right now.
Scroll down to that chart.
Yeah.
So last time was against the Giants. Maybe it's 70 yards. Receiving against us. 61.
Yeah. 61, 28. And I just think that, again, like you said, because Zay Flowers out, they're gonna need some juice in the passing game. And like obviously Derrick Henry, he'll catch a little screen 1 or 2 times, but I can see them getting Justice Hill involved just so that he can that's just another weapon that they can use. And this would be a game where they could definitely use him, get him in some space a few times. I could see him actually them definitely incorporating Justice Hill into the offense, especially if Zay Flowers is gone, kind of like how you said.
Yeah, I like that too. Kind of similar.
Eckler?
Like, yeah, Eckler. Yeah. Where it's like, look, man, we're going to need you because with the Commanders, it's just like they don't have the talent in that wide receiver room. With the Ravens, it's our main weapon is out. And shout out to Mark Andrews. I mean, I think he's like number 2 or number 3 tight end touchdowns. Definitely picked it up second half of the year. So
killing it. Let me see if I can bring it.
So he's going to have to put the team on his back, low key. Also, like likely here too, because people are just going to have to get busy. People, people have to step it up. Aguilar, Aguilar 11.5. I think that's a sneaky play that we could.
We need all the pass catchers. What's another one to keep an eye out on?
Wallace,
If you want it, yep, Tylen Wallace. Tylen Wallace.
Tylen
But
Wallace. He's at 16.5. So
yeah, because I think he is the third wide receiver, but don't quote
he
me
has
on that.
some. He has some juice. Every time he gets the
Yeah.
ball, he seems.
So they got him at an under, and they got Nelson at an over here. Let me see. Bateman, I hate to call him dependable, but you know they're gonna need somebody. They're gonna need somebody. I could just see it now. Wide open slant for a first down, and he just drops it. He just drops
I think
it.
I think 43.5 is good value here. I definitely wouldn't want to touch his receptions. I could see him having like 3 catches, like 80 yards, and that's all they need to take the dub. And
Well,
they
yeah,
just
well
spread
he's
the ball
the
out overall.
yeah, like he'll be the big play threat. If they take a shot downfield, it'll probably be to Rashad Bateman.
Right. You
And
betting on your boy Shakir? 50 and a
yeah,
half.
but I got it a little earlier.
Oh,
Like
now it's at
last
54 and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, but I got it when it was at 50. Here he got what do you get? He got 61 here. Yeah, I mean, I just think that again, this is a pass because it's a pass funnel defense. Um, I think that he's just going to use him, and he's the security blanket. He is. I mean,
I
Amari.
think I think I
It'd
think
be
he's
nice
their
for him to
best
show
receiver
up.
right now.
I mean, yeah, Pat. Yeah, by right now, and I think obviously Coleman was drafted because of his talent and his height and all that. So he could end up being at his second year and probably maybe could surpass him. But right now, yeah, I definitely think he's the most dependable wide receiver for sure. And again, going back to being conservative, if we're playing in a playoff game, we're going to the guys we trust. And that's just kind of what it is. That's just kind of what happens in these games. It gets tight. And that's why I'm not going to be surprised if it's a Mark Andrews game like you're talking about. Khalil Shakir. Amari has an opportunity to be a star, but will he do it? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he was a no-show last week, but they kind of didn't need him. You gotta give me something, bro. Like I got it. I almost have to do this anytime touchdown because it's 480.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's some good value. I mean, yeah, this is the type of week where you just got to attack the value. You got a guy, you got a vet here that we've seen a lot better years from him, whether in Dallas or with Cleveland. But they do have a lot of
Yeah.
options here. But he
Is
is
it?
he is he is a he is a pretty decent red zone threat. So that's a good
But I
one.
mean, like this cat just had a 230-yard game last year.
Yeah, I don't think he's
Last
exactly
year.
cooked. I just
Yeah.
think it's just the
And it's,
state of the
he,
Buffalo offense right
he,
now. Like
he,
he's just not the priority.
right. But which makes sense if you go back. And it was kind of what I was trying to allude to a little bit when we were talking about the Stephon Diggs situation, where it was like at the end of the year, I don't know if he was phased out or what, but it was just like, they really didn't need him. They really weren't targeting him. They really just kind of acted like he was just a guy on the field. Like, all right, Stephon Diggs, like, okay, whatever. Close score, run the ball. Like, so I think it's like I think this might be a Joe Brady part of like this might be just something that's part of Joe Brady's offense where he doesn't value an X wide receiver like that. But I just think that in this game and Amari Cooper's talent and the fact that the cornerbacks and the other room are so depleted and just not good. Stevens is not good. Amari's got to get in the end zone. Like he's got to get in the end zone. So I'm gonna take this single by itself. Just Amari Cooper anytime. $10, whatever, $15.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey man, I like it. I like it. I think there's a good chance of that.
yeah.
I think there's a good chance of that.
I mean, like he technically could catch both with one play. 23-yard touchdown isn't that
It's
crazy.
a Amari Cooper parlay. Amari Cooper same
Yeah,
gamer.
Right. Because
Shit,
I mean,
you might as well attack the over because if Amari Cooper's scoring a touchdown, should probably be a shootout.
well, I'm just saying. I mean, if they're forced to throw because they can't run, like, dang, you can't show up for one play, a play.
I'm hyped for this. I'm hyped for this game, man.
Yeah, it'll be. I mean, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So
Twitter's
we'll
gonna
probably
be
have a
on
recap.
fire, and sports world gonna be on fire. No matter how this game goes, somebody's getting cooked by the narrative machine.
Yeah, yeah.
So
There's no chance I'm turning on ESPN on Monday. No chance. No chance.
I might have to tune in to my boy Nick Wright, man. You gonna have some takes. You gonna have some takes, assuming that his Chiefs get past the
Pull this one
Texans.
out.
Yeah,
Right.
but yeah, that's that for that. We'll be back for the recap. Your boy's back in Texas, so going to get more frequent with the uploads and whatnot. Just had to take a quick holiday break. But yeah, my favorite picks of the week, just to wrap it up though. I do like the Texans to cover that 8.5. And I like the Bills to win out at home. I think those are my two favorite picks. And yeah, I mean, we kind of talked through some player props throughout.
Yeah.
I really like Jaden Daniels rushing. Um, I like Travis Kelce. I think it's gonna be a big Travis Kelce game on Saturday. So I mean, there's a lot. You just have to hit on the right ones. That's why gambling is so profitable, and they keep making casinos. So good luck.
Yeah. So, and then same for me. I mean, I don't really have that many sides in this one, but again, I told you the teaser that I liked a lot. 6-point teaser, teasing Detroit to -2.5, and then also Kansas City to -2.5, which I guess this is 3.5 now. It's moved back up to 9.5. But nonetheless, I like the under and the Baltimore Buffalo game, and I like 6 points Philadelphia covering this. And for the props, I like Marquise Brown receptions over 4.5, and then I like Xavier Worthy about 5 receptions, 6 receptions, and yeah, Sam Laporta over his yards.
Yeah, I like the Sam Laporta pick too. That's one of my favorite picks. I also like J-Mo in that game. And in terms of over unders, I like the under in that Philly game. Weather's going to be nasty. Stafford, you never know what Stafford you're going to see on Sundays, or in this case, yeah, Sundays. So Jalen Hurts, he's looking rusty. So I think we get off to a slow start. You might even want to do like a first half under. Might be smooth.
Yeah, yeah, that's covered. I mean, it covered last week too. It covered last week with the touchdown, with the turnover and the touchdown in the first play of the game. That's still covered at 12.5. So.
All right. Well, yeah, like I said, like, subscribe, matter of fact. We out. I'm about to get my food plans in order for the weekend. About to decide, look through Uber Eats, see I want to munch on, go and get big high and just chill all weekend, man. Football's almost over. But then we got draft season, we got the off season kicking up, we got the coaching hires, coaching carousel going crazy. Thanks to shout out to y'all. You know, Jerry likes the attention. Want to take some of the attention away from the playoffs. He cute.
And it's amazing that they let him do it. I mean, I'm impressed by it. We were literally talked about for 20 minutes on Tuesday. On Tuesday.
They love y'all, man. Y'all a money printer.
So it's like, hey, whatever works, I guess. But congratulations, Kellen Moore, to your future endeavors as the Dallas Cowboys head coach, aka Jason Garrett Jr. Whatever. More of the same shit. It is what it is.
Homegrown, man. You know, homegrown.
Yeah. He's just not going to tell Jerry to shut up. So he gets to be that coach.
Yeah. Yes, man. All over. Need it dealing with that boy. All right, man. We out.